go. James doesn't like feet.
No, I hate feet.
All right. Hey, everyone.
Hi, everyone.
Hello.
It's our special guest, Marie McNabb.
Thanks for joining. Usually when we do these, we like to buy a little time because people don't always sign in right at the start. So I like to ask James some questions, usually surprise him. So as people are joining slowly, maybe I thought, some exciting news that you may have seen a little glimpse of so far, a little teaser, if you will, on social media, is James has picked a new spot for a retreat for 2024.
Yeah, I don't know much about it actually yet.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm kind of, I don't know if I'm co-leading it, but I'm teaching the yoga portion of it.
Oh.
So my friend Emily, who I just went to Mexico with, some of you might know her because she did our teacher training a while back, Emily Evans Russell. She is actually leading a retreat that she's bringing me on to teach the yoga portion. So it's a long weekend over the weekend before Thanksgiving. So it's like the 14th to the 19th kind of date. So I'm really excited about it. I'm glad that she asked me to come on and do the yoga portion. So there'll be a yoga class every day. So it will be in some ways a yoga retreat, but she also is a life coach and she does multiple modalities in terms of energetic healing. And so, her trainings and what she's teaching during that course of time is going to be the yoga classes will be supplemental ultimately to what she's offering. And so I'm excited. Hopefully we'll have more information about that in terms of like dates, like specific dates and schedule and all that stuff and where it's at. And look for all that information on our retreat page because it will be on the Tejas retreat page as well.
But yoga with you just once a day?
Yeah.
Every day though?
Every day. Yeah, there'll probably be a class. I think we're going to be doing early mornings.
And you won't tell us where it is yet, huh?
It's in Costa Rica.
Oh, okay.
That's on.
That narrows it down.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
I love Costa Rica.
We love Costa Rica.
So today, you may have seen and read that James is going to be talking, mostly James, we're talking about the 21 days of wellness. I have a small part in it, but it's really his
my baby.
His baby. One of his babies is the 21 days of wellness. It's been with us for at least 10 years, right, at Tejas?
Yeah, it is.
More than 10 years I've been doing it. It's very popular, everyone loves it. But also, Maria is here and she's going to be talking about her Reiki services that she's giving here at Tejas now. And I thought maybe I'd ask Maria a couple of questions because, to kind of preface this question a little bit, back in the 90s, I was in massage therapy school, and I was a massage therapist for a couple of years before I started teaching yoga. And back in the late 90s, maybe it's because of the circle I was running with, but I knew a lot of Reiki practitioners, a lot of Reiki masters, and it was a really popular thing, at least, again, with people I ran around with. But then I was telling James this not that long ago, I don't know, in the mid-2000s, I didn't hear anything about Reiki for a long time. Mm-hmm. For like 10 years, I didn't hear anything, like very little about Reiki. Then all of a sudden, it seems to be making a strong comeback. Mm-hmm. So I thought maybe I'd ask Maria about that. What do you think that's true, that what I just said is really making a strong comeback? And if so, why?
Yeah, I do. I think that people are turning to more holistic approaches, not just like yoga and meditation, but a lot of energy work. And maybe it's because of the circle that I run in. We were just actually talking about that today at brunch, how like the more that we do our inner work, the more we're attracting people into our experience that are very much interested in like healing modalities such as Reiki.
Mm-hmm. And since we're into it now, I'm sure there's plenty of people who don't know what Reiki is. Mm-hmm. So I figured you plan on talking about it a little bit today.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about it now?
I think so.
Yeah, sure.
Reiki is a healing modality where I am channeling the energy of Reiki. Reiki is just life force. And I've been attuned to that through my training. And it's it's non-invasive, so I'm not actually touching you, although some practitioners do. My hands are hovering around the energy centers specifically. And I am a feeler, so I feel where the blocks are in the body. And then basically the Reiki has its own intelligence, and it helps clear the body of stagnant energy, which is, linked to symptoms, physical symptoms, psychological symptoms. And the goal ultimately is to create peace and balance and harmony in the body naturally. So it brings the body naturally back into balance.
If someone is brand new to Reiki, has never had a treatment, what could they expect?
To come in and experience what it's like to be kind of held like in a warm, loving blanket, because Reiki is very much brings you out of fight or flight, which a lot of us are in, and brings you into a state of relaxation.
Could you talk us through though, will they be standing, or will they have to wear certain clothes, or what? Once they get to the studio, what should they expect?
They should just expect to come in comfortable clothes, although they can come in work clothes. It doesn't really matter. You'll be laying down on a massage table, and we will go over anything that you want to share. Sometimes people, especially if they're new to Reiki, don't want to say anything because they want to see what I'm going to say after, and a lot of it is intuitive. And so they come in, they lay down, we talk or we don't talk. I'll go over what you might feel in the body. So tingling, hot, cold, your mind might race, you might fall asleep, you might snore. Everybody's experience is different based on whatever they have going on in that moment. And every Reiki session is different, even with the same person. And so you lay down for an hour, and I channel the Reiki in, and then after that, I kind of wake you back up. You get some water, and we debrief on the things that I felt or heard during the session. And then I make recommendations. And I always encourage people to book multiple appointments, because not just one treatment, while you are going to feel a lot lighter and it's going to be helpful, with any practice, you need to do it more than one time. You don't just come to one yoga class and expect to be.
Well, some people do.
Well, that's
in
true.
Fact, that's my topic of the upcoming newsletter. Some people do. It's one yoga class to do everything.
Yeah. Well, in Reiki, in other modalities, yes.
And it's a very interesting modality, because I've had multiple sessions throughout my life, and several with Maria, and every one of my experiences has been different when I'm in the session, but also what comes out of the session. Mm-hmm. So we're talking about working with the subtle body. So even though you might find shifts in your physical, maybe signs or symptoms, to me, I'm a big believer that those physical signs and symptoms are something underlying those, or supporting them, or keeping them in your body, or whatever that is. And so for that to get revealed, it takes longer. It takes the body-mind complex to kind of integrate the work that you've done in that Reiki session. So, there's been times where I've had my perception just shifts a week later on a topic or subject matter or something that I've been mulling over or feeling stuck with, oh, why can't I get over this mental hurdle, or why is this kind of why does my life seem like shit right now? What is going on? Yeah. And then I'll have a session, and a week later, things with that specifically, if I go into the session with the intention of revealing, and that's where I think that they can also come into a Reiki session with. It's what is it that, ask yourself, what is it that you really feel consumed by? What do you feel you want to improve on, or what questions you have? Questions are really good, right? Because then it leaves it open-ended. You're not fixed on a solution and fixing this certain thing, but you're really asking the question of where can this go? What does this experience have to teach me?
Yeah.
You know, so those are really good things to come into a Reiki session with as well.
Yeah, and I'm glad you mentioned that, because one of the things that we do at the beginning of the session is I ask you to leave all of your conditioning, your stories, your beliefs, and see yourself in your highest, so which is pure love, light, where the sicknesses and all the things that you bring into this life and into the session, I ask you to leave it at the door, so that we are co-creating this healing moment in your highest. So we know that our thoughts are powerful, and in Reiki, that's something that I ask everybody to cultivate, is just see yourself in your highest. You're going to receive what you're ready to receive. You're going to release what you're ready to release, because we store emotions in the body, and Reiki, it does. If you're ready to release a specific emotion, maybe grief or guilt or shame that is being held in a certain part of the body, that's going to happen. So there's a lot of you're not just receiving, but you're also releasing during the session. And like you said, 7 days, within 7 days, you have like from the start of Reiki to about 7 days where the body is naturally coming back into balance, and you are going to have these experiences, these ahas, or you're going to be able to, like your throat chakra was blocked, you're going to be able to say the things that you want to say with ease and flow. Mm-hmm. I think that's like the biggest thing, is things don't seem as hard.
So you say 7 days, so 1 day a chakra, basically.
Fair. That's fair.
Speaking of that, I know, and you said energy centers, and we're talking about chakras now. So I know, I think there's a crossover someplace with the tantric chakra system or the Indian chakra system, but Reiki is a Japanese word, right?
It is.
So what's the crossover? What's the difference with those I guess lineages or traditions
between yoga and Reiki?
Well, I guess so. It's something like that.
I mean, the energy centers to me they're prevalent in everything. I think that Reiki just recognizes that. I think it's easy for us in this context to think of them as, and that's what we're doing, is we're working over those energy channels and the chakras. But I mean, ultimately, you're working with the energetic body. And so I think it would be similar in both modalities. Can you separate that? I guess I haven't really thought about,
I just thought about that recently.
Yeah, thinking about it being separate.
It seems like one of those components that overlaps many ancient wisdom traditions, right? That they all have, this base of knowledge, and how they talk about it, how they use them. There might be little, for each school of thought, significance as to like why they're important, or even sometimes where they rest in the body.
Mm-hmm.
But it seems like a lot of wisdom traditions all kind of acknowledge that we have these intersections, or a lot of wisdom traditions. So that's probably just where the overlap is.
Yeah.
And what was, I guess I'm going backwards here a little bit, but what originally got you interested in Reiki?
Well, I didn't even know what Reiki was until like 6 years ago. And I just met some random woman at an essential oils class that I was doing.
Oh, that's right.
And then she was a Reiki practitioner. So I took a couple sessions with her. And then actually my hairdresser introduced me to my Reiki master teacher, who's actually I'm doing my retreat with. And then I took all her classes, and I was hooked. I just found it to be very transformative. My life entirely shifted. Even my yoga practice, my meditation, my life really shifted after being receiving a lot of energy work. A lot of deep healing occurred.
When you say that, it reminds me of, and this is the last thing I'm going to say, I'll shut up after this, on this topic. It reminds me of, so back when I was in massage therapy school, and I knew these guys. There might have been a lady that hung out with them too, but anyway, I knew a couple of guys specifically who were like Reiki masters, and they would go to, James, what was the healing, what was that place we talked about last time? A place on Ashland. in like Belmont. They did a healing, anyway, these Reiki masters did a healing circle there. And they would, it'd be like an event center, a big room, and they have a bunch of massage tables around, and these be a bunch of Reiki masters. They were just doing Reiki on different people. But anyway, they would say something along the lines of when they give treatments, they receive also. Does that make sense to you? Is that something that
Yeah, that
you feel?
definitely happens. Yeah. A lot of people think that I'm taking on your energy. Well, in some ways, yes, because I'm engaging with the energetic body, but they always ask, oh, was that so? They'll say, oh, that was a lot. Like if the session was really intense, like, how do you feel? And I'm like, I feel great. I always feel clear. I feel calm. So
That's
I'm
what
like,
I
I
say too.
get it as well, because I mean, it is moving through my body, not at the same level.
No.
And I don't know how that works, right? But yes, I definitely receive in addition to giving.
That's cool.
Tell us, where's your retreat at? You said you're going to do a retreat.
Also Costa Rica.
Costa Rica bound 2024.
Yeah, it's in Potrero, which is in the Guanacaste area. It's May 1st through 7th. It is only for women.
No gym.
No gym,
No.
sorry.
Jim shows up with earrings and a wig.
Yeah, we rented out our own little small boutique hotel. I have stayed at this, in this area last summer. And we are going to actually be doing a variety of things. We'll have yoga, embodiment practices, Reiki. My co-host, Vanessa, she is a psychic and a very, very good healer. And she's actually going to be transmuting energy. And we're going to have a lot of energy healing sessions in addition to workshops on how to keep the body in balance. It's really for women who want to start creating their own tribe and start connecting with other women who are also on a healing journey, whatever that looks like and wherever you're at in it, even if you haven't even started, but you are curious. And we're going to be actually moving through the chakras. So every day is related to one of the chakras, and we'll be there for 7 days. And we have like our own private chef.
Wow.
The resort is all ours. We have multiple pools. We're just down the road from the beach where the most amazing sunsets I've ever seen take place. And we have rented our own, like, what is it? Like a sunset cruise.
Oh.
We rented a sunset cruise, and for the first night, we're going to have an opening ceremony and an evening ceremony, and all food is included, and some drinks and fresh juices, all organic and very nurturing.
Cool.
Yeah.
Any cacao ceremonies?
There is actually.
Shut up, really? I
Yes,
was
cacao
joking.
and a sound bath. Thank you for saying that. I forgot about that.
It's the thing, like
Yeah.
everyone's doing cacao ceremonies.
Yeah, so we actually hired some local women to come in and do a cacao and a sound bath for us.
That's awesome.
And yeah, we have.
You have all your bases covered.
We
Wow.
have it. It's
I would
going to be
say,
very.
geez, it's like packed. I love it.
It is packed.
Yeah.
And then we'll have like the afternoons for excursions. We hired one of my friends who lives there, and he's one of the best tour guides ever. He can see any tropical bird off the side of the road, sloths, all of the things.
I love sloth.
All the people that I know there are helping with the retreat. So we got a DJ, like a house DJ. If anybody doesn't know that, I love house music. And we're gonna have this beautiful like sit-down dinner and party to celebrate all of the healing that took place during the week. It's gonna be really magical.
Yay. And what are the dates again?
May 1st through the 7th.
Do we have did the links go up, Jim?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so look in the comments for links to that retreat from Maria. And then also what days are you gonna be here? You're gonna be on Tuesdays, right?
Right now I'll be here Tuesdays from about 1 to whenever.
Yeah, so if you also want to book a session, a Reiki session with Maria, and I know that you also do life coaching.
Yes.
And so you've got a whole website that describes more of that type of work. And people want to really dive further into that type of journey and do that really meaningful work, you know, where you're, you know, you gotta be
ready.
I mean, ready to a degree of like,
dive in.
yeah, willing. Not even
Willing.
ready, but willing.
Yeah, willing.
Because ready,
Open.
we're never fully ready. I don't
No.
think that kind of works. But willing to like really look at yourself, look at, you know, problem areas in your life, you know, be a little confronted with that, and to make the big changes.
Yeah.
You know, so look in the comments and look for all those links for everything that Maria has to offer, and then you can book a session with her on Tuesdays after 1 p.m. And if whatever reason those times don't work for you, just reach out to her, and she can work something else out with you. So we're really happy to have you here today, and we're happy to have you doing Reiki here too. I think it's a great offering for the community.
Thank you.
Yeah. Should we talk about 21 days?
I think so.
All right. Which Maria has done, and she can tell us a little bit about her experience with 21 Days of Wellness. But if you have not done the 21 Days of Wellness yet in your lifetime, then I highly recommend doing this program. It is now, for the past couple of years, completely virtual, so you can do it anywhere in the world. Even if you're in another time zone, and the workshops that are available for the program doesn't line up with your schedule, we record them and we will have them available for you to watch at your convenience for the duration of the work or for the program. So know that those workshops can still be available for you. But essentially, as a rundown, it's 21 days, and the first week is about journaling and assessing. So I think to start kind of a journey or a program of, you know, finding more balance with our digestion, absorption, assimilation, not just physical, but also we look at this idea that, you know, we're processing things mentally as well. So we're not only cleansing the body in this physical way, but also helping to clear our mind, get more focused, let things maybe in the subconscious come to the conscious level so we can, you know, kind of like observe and assess those as well. And just to see the connection there between how our physical body is affecting our mind. And so this is where the assessing and journaling can be really helpful. So as you're taking those first few days, and I always tell people not to change anything about their diet, but once they start writing shit down, they always do. They don't want to write down that Snicker bar. But I say fucking take the Snicker bar if you eat the Snicker bar on a regular basis and write it down so you see how it's affecting you. Like, is it stopping you from pooping every day? Does it not affect you? Like, it doesn't have to be, you know, these like judgment calls. You know, it's really about assessing how your everyday diet is affecting you, your journaling, your bowel movements, how you're sleeping, how you're feeling, and those things for the first week. And then we start making, you know, changes. We start editing. And this editing phase is really helping us to prepare for the mono diet. And for those of you that are unfamiliar with Ayurveda, this system, this program is really aligned with Ayurvedic knowledge. So in Ayurveda, it's very rare that people completely fast, that I know. I'm sure there are juice fasts, or not juice fasts, but maybe water fasts or tea fasts and things like that that people will do for periods of time. But what's more popular is going on a mono diet. And this mono diet exists or contains basically one type of meal that you're eating for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And essentially it's a complete protein because you're having rice with a legume or mung dal. And then you've got vegetables in there, and you've got ghee or clarified butter, and then lots of spices to help with the digestion, absorption, and also elimination. The idea with the mono diet is, one, it's helping your digestive system to get a little bit of a break, because this dish is very, very easy to digest. So we're giving the digestive system a break, which then will allow the nervous system and your body to basically focus on the detoxification process. And the ghee in the khichdi is what this lentil dish is called, is helping to oleate the system within the body. So you're oleating the system from within by ingesting the ghee that you're taking in with the khichdi. And at the same time, you're also doing a self-oil massage during those 3 to 5 days. So you're on the mono diet for about 3 to 5 days. And then you're also doing what's called abhyanga, or self-oil massage. So basically this oil is helping to extract the toxins out of the deep tissue. So oil has this attribute that it has the ability to attract toxins. And so anything that your body isn't absorbing, digesting, assimilating, something that basically is not of use to you, it's going to extract from the deep tissue. And so these 5 days when you're eating this meal every day and doing the self-oil massage, that's when that deeper detoxification process starts to happen. So that's the second week. Then the third week is when we start implementing everyday foods slowly so that we can assess what foods now, how the foods that we're implementing again are affecting us now that we've done this cleanse. We've kind of created this clean slate. So that last week is really about implementing everyday foods again and still journaling and assessing. And one of the workshops that you'll experience is an Ayurvedic nutrition workshop. And this is where you'll learn, before you start implementing everyday foods again, what might be more appropriate for your constitution, right? And maybe what your current state is. And we talk a little bit about that in the workshop and how to assess yourself from an Ayurvedic point of view. So that hopefully after the workshop, you'll be making choices that are more in line with helping you regain or maintain balance. The other workshop that will be available to you is a self-practice workshop. And Jim teaches that self-practice workshop, and that just allows you to walk away from the program having the tools to do a little bit of movement or yoga practice, breathing exercises on a regular basis. Because while you're doing the program, you can take classes with us every day. So we have unlimited yoga classes, virtual and in person, throughout the training, right, throughout the whole program. So then hopefully that jumpstarts your practice, your sadhana, your spiritual practices, and then you'll have the tools after the program to continue something on a more regular basis when maybe you're not able to take a class. So that's the program in a nutshell. You also have access to me. We set up office hours for me. So throughout the 21 days of wellness, if you want to set up a time specifically for you and I to chat, they're in 20-minute increments. If you have questions about the program, if you have specific health concerns, you're not sure if like what you're doing is aligned with these health concerns, you can always reach out to me through my email address, jamestennant@tejasyogachicago.com. Ask me about any of those concerns, and then throughout the program, you also have access to me. We also have a thread where everybody is on, and you can ask questions. And I'm usually sending notes out and reminders. And again, everything's virtual. You get stuff sent to you every week. You get your journal sent to you. Everything is laid out for you in this very organized way so that it's not overwhelming to you. And you just get things as you need them. Handouts for the workshops, weekly journal, and then throughout the thread, you'll get reminders from me. Sometimes people that have gone through the program before answer each other's questions, and really, it's very supportive and encouraging. It's a really great way to be held accountable and kind of get a lot out of the program. And so I know you took it years ago, so it was before everything went virtual. But what was your experience with the 21 days?
It was it's something. It creates a reset in your body. I didn't really know about Ayurveda, although I did this during teacher training, so I was learning about it. It really helps if you have digestion problems, which most people do, or any sort of symptoms. This really, I learned about my body. And in fact, I continue, since doing the 21 days of wellness, I've fully implemented the things that I learned throughout the program to really shift my life in terms of diet and lifestyle, and understanding the qualities of food and how it affects me, particularly because it's not the same for everybody. I felt very light and clear and energetic and more in control of my life, more in control of my health after taking this, because now I had a strong foundation in in what it means to eat according to your constitution. And that has really, that shifted everything for me. Because I had stuff that I was dealing with, and this really started that healing journey.
I've got a question for James. Are there any prerequisites for this? Can anyone do it? Do you need to be an experienced yoga practitioner? Do you need to be already like really healthy? Or if you're already really healthy, do you need to do it at all? Or what are the kind of prerequisites?
I think, you just need to be willing to, commit to these 3 weeks, to really see it through so that you get the full benefit of it. And, even if you're healthy, I mean, I feel pretty healthy, and, I do a mono diet, for a period of time, once or twice a year. Again, it's just helpful to reset. Like Maria was saying, it just really does help reset the whole like physiological system in the body, your glandular system, your digestive system, and even when we're including that, a mental or psychological component to it. And I think we all need, people that, consider themselves really healthy, like they eat a really clean diet, they exercise every day, still will get something out of this program.
Yes.
Because I really do think that we all need that time to reset, particularly around the change of the seasons, right? Because ultimately, things are always going to build up. When we go through hot months, more of that hot quality is going to build up in our system, right? So what do? We need to find ways to cleanse it out, right? To release it. And the same thing with these colder months. As we come out of these colder months, that kapha, or those water and earth elements, just build up in us naturally. And so in order for us to kind of shift into these warmer months, it's a really good time of year in spring to do some sort of like a mono diet or a cleanse. And also, I feel like every time I do this, I revisit my relationship with food. That's how I look at it. And that's always a good idea for me, because we always, no matter how healthy we are, we always find ourselves in habits, or, we start getting, like a little less conscious of when we're eating or how we're eating, or we're not always assessing how the food that we're eating is, because we're changing all the time. What I was able to eat when I was 25 is a hell of a lot different than what I'm able to eat now and still feel healthy, just different metabolism. My whole body is really different.
And you spoke about it already a little bit, but maybe it might be helpful to say it again. And I think a lot of people, when they hear something like this, they think of like a detox cleanse, where it's really, you're eating very, very little for a long period of time, and you're kind of fasting. That's not what this is, right?
You are limiting the food to 3 meals a day. And you are eating the same dish, this khichdi, for each of those meals. But it's way more, I guess, still is more satiating, I guess, if that's the word I'm looking for, than if you were just to do like sometimes we talk like a juice fast, or if you're just drinking tea or just not eating food at all.
Right.
Because you are getting vegetables, you are getting fats, you are getting a complete protein,
right?
Yeah. But what we're not used to, and this is where the wake-up call is for a lot of people, is we don't realize how much we snack, right? We don't realize, like, oh, I go into the office and, oh, there's a donut there. I guess I'll just have a little bite of a donut. We don't understand what that does to our agni or digestive fire, right? And how snacking can kind of throw that off, or we don't realize how much we're eating. And when we're portion controlling this khichdi, then we start to realize, like, oh, wow, like, this is a serving? Like, this is, and you realize, like, oh, maybe I've been eating too much, or how complicated our meals can get, instead of like keeping things pretty simple, and how that is affecting our digestion, absorption, and elimination. So it's a wake-up call for a lot of people, that just becoming very conscious of like taking all that out, eating very simply, eating on regular intervals, or the encouragement is just to eat when you're hungry. So then we start to trigger this response in our body. Are we eating because it's 12 o'clock? Or are we eating because we're hungry? Like, what does that feel like in our body? What does it feel like when our body actually tells us that we're hungry? instead of just eating at 12 o'clock because it's lunchtime, or eating dinner because it's dinner time, and not really asking yourself, do I actually need a full meal right now? So there's things like that come up, and we talk about them throughout the whole program. Like, these are the things that come up and I remind people of. And so it's this whole organic process of these realizations, because everybody has a different experience with it. Everybody has their own realizations. Because of that, the results are different for everyone.
All right.
Yeah.
That's great. One thing I didn't mention, I should have earlier, sorry. If you are watching live and you want to ask a question on the chat, I'm keeping an eye on the chat. And our great wizard behind the scenes, Jen, has been updating things in the comments, if you haven't seen already, with links to different websites and all this great information. So if you do have a question or a comment about something, type it in the chat and I'll keep an eye on it.
And I think you should probably put the link in for 21 days. So all of our information on the 21 Days of Wellness program is on the site. And it goes in depth with like the breakdown of the weeks, everything that's included, supplies that you'll need for the program that, we basically give you links to and tell you what you need. And all of that is like I said, really laid out. Jen and Stella are two people that really worked on this with me to make this program completely virtual. And they're the behind the scenes people with making it as organized as it is. And they do a great job. And then I'm just kind of like the front guy that helps you through the process and the questions. And I've been through this program more than several times in my life. And so I'm aware of all the pitfalls and all of like the little ways that you can get more out of the program. And so I'm there with you.
And the link for the 21 days is in the comments also. It's in the chat section.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. That's all I got. No comments, no questions as of right now. Any last words, Maria?
Book your Reiki session with me on Tuesdays.
All right. Confidence. Like it.
Yay. All right. Well, thanks for joining us, or if you're watching this after the live session, thanks for checking it out. And if there's any questions, please email us. You can email me at jamessenate@tejasyogachicago.com. You can email info@tejasyogachicago.com. Jim and I both get those email. We look forward to hearing from you. And hopefully we'll see you sign up for those Reiki sessions and for the 21 Days of Wellness.
Everyone, see you soon.